turn off the plug-and-play kill switch to disable the vehicle from starting, and turn it back on to enable starting. Here on our channel, we have created videos on car anti-theft devices from steering wheel locks to DIY Faraday boxes to metal OBD port locks and more. I've even put a key fob in the microwave to show you that it doesn't block the key fob signals. But every now and then we get a comment saying to install a kill switch instead. So in this video I'm going to try out this plug-and-play drop-in kill switch that anyone can buy. It is a relatively easy install where no factory wires are cut. It is reversible and it shouldn't cause any check engine lights or error codes. I have two kits that I installed on a Toyota and a Mercedes, and even modified one of the kits to use this wireless remote instead of using the toggle switch. Find out about my experience with the install, what else to know, and more next.
Frakking Creations, showing you the good stuff.
4122 kindly sent us two kits to try out for free. If you are interested in buying a kit, I've included links in the video description below. Plus, our viewers can get 10% off with our discount code. Disclaimer. A quick disclaimer that this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. There are always risks associated with all car work and DIY work where people can get hurt or property can be damaged. As I am not a mechanic and am only a car enthusiast sharing what I like to do, if you have doubts or concerns, consult with professionals. How does a kill switch work? The short answer. For car security, a kill switch is used to prevent a vehicle from unauthorized starting, thereby preventing an easy theft like relay attacks and key cloning car thefts. Typically, a kill switch is installed by cutting the factory harness or wire that connects to the starter relay and putting a toggle switch in between. If the switch is turned off, the starter motor cannot operate to turn the vehicle on. When turned on, everything works as normal. 4122 came up with a creative kit that allows you to add a kill switch without having to cut or splice any wires. You just replace the factory starter relay with everything in this kit. Uninstall it at any time. For example, if you are worried about your dealership finding out about it, you can temporarily just unplug the bypass relay and swap it with the original relay, and everything works like before the install. 4122 drop-in kill switch install. My experience with two cars. This kit is a straightforward, pretty much plug-and-play install where at a high level there are 5 main steps. Swap out the factory starter relay with one of the included bypass relays, mount a wiring box, connect the ground wire, pass the toggle switch harness through the firewall, and install the toggle switch in a hidden location. For my experience level, it isn't the most difficult install. I make sure to follow the detailed installation instructions on the 4122 website, which is useful. Find links to this in the video description. Before installing, I will need the correct kits for the two vehicles, so I have to determine the type of starter relays each vehicle uses. As per the website, I looked under the hood and found the main fuse box. This is usually where the starter relay is. It's usually labeled as ST, STR, or START on the fuse box cover. I also tried searching online for the Mercedes, but I find contradicting info. The wrong relay is actually specified. This is also why 4122 mentions it is important to test this out by removing the suspected relay to ensure that the car doesn't start when removed. It's detailed nicely on their website. Once I receive the kits, the install is next. The negative terminal of the battery should be disconnected first for safety, and the engine should not be hot. I planned for the install by laying out the kit near the main fuse box and seeing where I want to install each unit of the kit. I have to ensure that the wiring is long enough for each unit to connect up. I disconnect the relay bypass module from the connector and replace the factory starter relay with it. I make sure to neatly route the wiring through and out of the fuse box. Then replace the cover and make sure the wire does not get routed near the engine. Some vehicles like this Mercedes have security screws for the fuse box cover. If I want added security, I could DIY a way to do this for the other vehicle's fuse box too. Next, I mount the wiring box. I disconnect all connectors and find a place to mount. The box includes a mounting bracket that can be used, or alternatively, 4122 mentions that double-sided tape can be used as well. The grounding wire is next. Usually, vehicles will have several throughout the engine bay. the battery can have additional spots that can be used too. I use a 10mm socket to undo a ground bolt to add another ground wire. At this point, I decided to test the kill switch out before proceeding any further just to make sure the kit is working. I connect all the connectors to the wiring box. I then make sure all wiring and cabling is secure and won't touch the engine or any moving parts when the vehicle turns on. With the two leads of the toggle switch harness not touching and not connected, the vehicle should not start. With the leads connected, the vehicle should start. Success! Note that for the Mercedes, I had some troubleshooting to do and ended up swapping to the reverse relay. The next step can be the hardest part of the whole install, running the toggle switch harness through the firewall. In some vehicles, it can be as easy as pushing the harness cable through the factory wire boot, like this. In other cases, you might need to use a wire puller. And in the case of this Mercedes, the firewall boot seems to be sealed. I might have to carefully poke a hole through it, either from inside the cabin or from the engine bay, in order to be able to pass the toggle switch harness through. But in my case, I won't need to do this because I am installing a wireless remote switch, which will replace the toggle switch. The toggle switch harness will now stay inside the engine bay, and I won't need to pass it through the firewall. If you want to know more about what I did for this remote switch, you can watch the video here. For this Toyota, it was so easy. I was able to push the harness through and access it from the driver's side footwell. I next connect the toggle switch to the harness, making sure to match the red and black wires. I can use the included butt connectors, but I prefer to use these self-soldering heat shrink connectors. Almost done. I test the kill switch out again. Turn the kill switch off and the car does not start. Turn the kill switch on and it starts right out.
Yep, that's it.
There's also no check engine light. Good stuff. As an interesting variation on this, some people even suggest using a magnetic reed switch hidden behind panels, which would make it more difficult to locate since there's no toggle switch to find. One like this might work, so I've included the link in the video description for those interested. One thing I didn't see mentioned on the 4122 install guide is to clean up the wiring in the engine bay to make sure wiring and anything from the install is not hanging loose or near the engine or any sharp object. I can use zip ties or harness tape to secure as necessary. Also, making the wiring and wiring box not easily visible can help to make sure that the vehicle looks stock and bad actors would be none the wiser. The final step should be unique for everyone. Hide the kill switch in a secret location that only I know where it is. Here's a quick troubleshooting tip. If you try to start the car with the toggle switch turned off, the car should not start. If you then turn the switch on and the car still does not start, then make sure to turn the ignition all the way off before trying to start the car again. This happened on the Mercedes and caused me to waste a lot of time troubleshooting just because I thought a connection was loose. 4122 drop-in kill switch. What else to know? So, as with all security devices, nothing is going to prevent a theft 100%. If someone really wants something bad enough, they will find a way. For example, a bad actor can drive up with a flatbed truck and easily haul your car away, and no security device is going to prevent it. The best you can do is to have multiple security layers. Each additional layer covers the weaknesses of other layers. With any added security layer, you are trying to increase the time a bad actor needs to take to steal your vehicle. The longer they are attempting the theft, the more chance for them to get caught. If it is taking too long, they are more likely to move on to the next vehicle. Other security layers to include with this kill switch would be a good steering wheel lock, OBD port lock, and real-time GPS tracker, or an AirTag or Android equivalent. Can this kill switch help prevent car theft? I do believe it could help, especially for the recent trend of car thefts that strictly use relay attack or key cloning methods. But just as door locks can be picked, if a bad actor already knows how to defeat something, then the security device may not help much. For this drop-in kill switch, a bad actor could easily replace the relay with a factory relay to defeat it. Some people even suggest to install some sort of hood lock. By the way, don't lose the factory starter relay in case you want to undo the install in the future, or in case the drop-in relay has any issues. Then you can easily pop this back in to restore full functionality. For the install, I've also seen people recommend using the fuel pump relay as an alternative to the starter relay. I would say that this is a bad idea. If the relay should fail at any time while you are driving, your engine would shut down, and you would lose power steering and brake assist, among other things. This would be so dangerous. It's not only if the relay fails, but if any of the wiring for the kit is damaged or disconnects, it could cause the fuel pump to stop and the engine would shut down. Personally, I wouldn't install the kill switch using the fuel relay. Another important point to mention is that if you have a remote starter, you won't be able to use it if you deactivate the starter using a kill switch. Since the starter is disabled, the remote start won't be able to start the vehicle either. Other than that, there is a lot of useful information on 4122's website regarding installation, the relay type needed, and troubleshooting, so make sure to check those out before you buy and before you install. I will provide the links in the video description below. We hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and share it with anyone else that would enjoy it too. Subscribe for more good stuff to come.